The Diddy trial is about to kick off, and with it, the entire world's attention. One name stands above all others in this case: Cassie Ventura. You might remember her as Diddy's ex-girlfriend, but now she's the key witness that could turn everything upside down. But what's coming next in this trial will shock you. Cassie Ventura is set to be the star witness in the trial. But this isn't just about her testifying. It's about her revealing details that could change the course of this case. We all know about the horrific video that surfaced in 2016, but now a new version of that tape will be played for the jury. What will Cassie say when she takes the stand next week? Could her testimony be the bombshell we've all been waiting for? When Cassie stepped out in New York, pregnant, and seemingly further along than we'd anticipated, it added another layer of complexity to this already intense trial. She's a mother already, and this isn't the same person who once lived a life of glamour with Diddy. How will the jury react when they see her, pregnant, taking the stand to testify? Is this the kind of image that will make the defense's job impossible? Let's dig into how her presence will impact the case. Diddy's team is going to paint a picture of a relationship that was not what it seemed. They're claiming Cassie was just another part of a consensual, swinger-style lifestyle. But how does this theory hold up when you look at Cassie now? Will the jury buy the defense's version, or will Cassie's testimony expose something much darker? And how will they handle the contradiction of a woman carrying a child while defending a life of supposed consent and freedom? This is going to be a tough road for Diddy's lawyers to navigate. The 12 people who will eventually decide Diddy's fate are walking into a pressure cooker. They have to watch that graphic 2016 video, stare at a visibly pregnant Cassie on the witness stand, and then be told by the defense that all of this was just a consensual, grown-up relationship gone sideways. But here's the wild card. Many of those jurors are likely parents themselves, or at least have a close friend or sibling who is. Seeing an expectant mother relive a violent moment isn't merely testimony. It's an emotional shockwave. Legal analysts we spoke to say prosecutors will lean into that empathy, slowly walking jurors through Cassie's timeline of fear and control. Every tear, every pause, every shaky breath becomes its own piece of evidence. Defense attorneys know this too. Expect them to object frequently, trying to keep the questioning clinical and the courtroom temperature as low as possible. But the human brain remembers images far longer than legal jargon, and once those visuals are burned in, it's incredibly hard for jurors to set them aside when deliberations begin. Outside the courthouse, this trial is already a full-blown media circus. Every morning, camera crews clog the sidewalk, social feeds explode with #Diddy trial memes, and opinion pieces land faster than the court clerk can stamp motions. Why does that matter? Because jurors may be sequestered, but attorneys, witnesses, and even the judge know the world is watching. And that awareness shapes strategy. Prosecutors are timing press briefings to reinforce their narrative of abuse and coercion. Diddy's camp is counter-programming with carefully worded statements that frame him as the victim of a money grab. Meanwhile, music industry insiders are leaking whispered conversations about NDAs, payoffs, and who might take the stand next. That rolling thunder of coverage raises the stakes inside the courtroom. Every slip-up in testimony, every flubbed cross-examination becomes a headline within minutes. And remember, potential sentencing is only half the story. Diddy's brand, Cassie's career revival. Even future civil suits all hinge on how this trial plays in the court of public opinion. Let's talk about that infamous video. Cassie is going to have to address it head-on in court. What does she say when the defense tries to claim it was a one-off incident? Just a freak-off situation, as Diddy has said? What happens when she refutes that? The video isn't just a clip. It's the visual proof of abuse, and it will likely be a turning point in this trial. Will the jury believe her side of the story, or will the defense succeed in planting doubt? Here's something no one saw coming. The prosecution plans to start with minor witnesses before bringing Cassie to the stand. Why start with witnesses who aren't central to the case? Could this be a tactical move to make Cassie's testimony even more powerful when it comes? Will they build the narrative slowly? Or is this the prosecution's attempt to soften the blow before they unleash the biggest bombshell of the trial? But there's more. One of the key witnesses in this case, an ex-girlfriend described as Victim 3, has been surprisingly uncooperative. Will she even show up to testify? The prosecution's case hinges on multiple victims, but if they can't bring this person in, will they still be able to convince the jury? And what does this mean for the trial if one of their central witnesses doesn't show? Things are getting more complicated by the minute. With Cassie's powerful testimony and the uncooperative witness, how will the defense team manage to turn the tide? They're going to have to find a way to discredit Cassie, even if it means painting her in a negative light. But with her pregnant and tearfully recounting her story, how can they challenge her without coming off as a monstress? It's a fine line they'll have to walk, and the world is watching closely. Cassie Ventura is everything in this case. Her testimony isn't just crucial, it's potentially the key to the entire case. The defense will be playing from behind if they don't handle her right. Can they win over the jury by attacking Cassie's character, or will her words be too powerful to ignore? And if Cassie delivers the truth, raw and unflinching, will Diddy's defense crumble under the weight of her words? The stakes couldn't be higher. As the prosecution prepares to present their case, they know how vital Cassie's testimony is. With a video that leaves little to the imagination and an emotional witness on the stand, they have the opportunity to make a strong, lasting impact on the jury. But they also have the burden of proving that Cassie wasn't just another willing participant in a dangerous lifestyle. Can they successfully convince the jury that she was coerced, or will they struggle to maintain the momentum in the face of doubt? And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the Diddy trial. But the question remains, who's telling the truth, and how will this all end? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this case is far from over. If you're as hooked on the drama as we are, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends so they can stay in the loop too. Subscribe to the channel for more updates, behind-the-scenes info, and breakdowns of the latest trials, rumors, and scandals. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Trust us, it's going to get even crazier. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.